That's where we're up. A wee! Hooray! A yippee!
Let's go.
A mom! Hello, everybody. Hello, howdy. Hello, welcome back.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's
been a while.
Me, your bald menace, back with the handsome blue devil himself, Benjamin Button.
I'm not handsome. I'm blue, but I'm not handsome.
Don't you talk about my best friend Ben like that. Don't talk about my brother like that. That's my family. Watch your mouth. You say he's not handsome. You son of a
family.
Son of a family. Anyways. Welcome back to another Wiki Deck Check. This week we got another slew of lists. We got some BT23 lists that we're gonna look through. As always, thank you to all of our members for supporting us, for keeping the metaphorical lights on of the channel, I suppose. Sure. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. And anyone who sees this video when it goes public, thank you for checking it out. If you are not subscribed and you are somebody who watches our videos, like 52% of you are out there.
Wowee.
Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Do some cool stuff. And maybe if you subscribe, I'll regrow part of my hairline. And that would be pretty cool, right, Ben?
That'd be pretty poggies.
It would be pretty poggies. So you guys should subscribe and give me back my hair, please. Please give me back my hair. So, anyways, that's enough there. If you like this video, maybe give it a like too. That'd be pretty cool. Or check out our other content and all of our match play commentary and stuff like that we have going on. We also have Gundam videos going up now too. We have a whole Gundam section. They got added to our Discord.
Gundam.
Yes. They got added to our Discord. Rio and Jarell have been heading that up primarily, and they've been doing a banger of a job. So if you are somebody who's looking to find a Gundam community to yap with, to deck build with, talk about the leaks and stuff like that with, please join our Discord. You can see a bunch of stuff in there now. It's very, very cool. Yeah. We're gonna try and get that to be more active.
True.
Yeah. So I think that's enough of me yapping about the introductory stuff. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into our first deck here. Ben, if you want to take it away, Brother Bear.
Sure. We got our first iteration of Hudie, piloted by Takagi over in JP. Got first place at a Evo Cup, so congratulations to you. Hudie's an interesting deck. I haven't fully wrapped my mind around it just of yet, but there's a lot of ways you can build it, and I think this build is pretty interesting. I think a key piece of the Hudie build is the 2 level 4s, the Angemon and the Ankylamon, which allows you to DNA Evo on play and when digivolving, which is pretty key because a lot of your rookies, the inheritable, allow you to play a Hudie trait Digimon when attacking. So basically, when you can build up into your stack, the goal is to be able to kind of wideboard, essentially is what I'm getting at right now. There's different ways to go about it, but the Angemon and Ankylamon allow you to DNA Evo into the Shakamon, which allow you to de-digivolve one, but mainly give your opponent basically taunt, right? And the inheritable to give yourself like a pseudo partition in a sense, I think is really key, which kind of separates it from the BT23 Shakamon, which essentially does a very similar effect, but to less of a degree. And the Hudimon that we get from this new set is also pretty solid because it lets you to play out another body, basically build into this wideboard potential and kind of play into your kind of strat of just kind of overwhelming your opponent. There's both the Hudie loop, which allows you to kind of loop into the Shako and continuously kind of de-digivolve opponents, taunt them, and kind of keep digivolving into a Shakamon and steal turn, versus these sort of more like Hudie toolbox, which I think is what we see here, where we kind of allow yourself to build into the engine, go into a top end such as Venusmon, which I think is still very, very good into the meta, as well as Cherubimon and Black Warrior Ace, which are both very good toolbox ace plays where you can kind of very, very much just shut down your opponent and kind of steal their turn over. You kind of run into your Tamer lineup, which is basically roundabout into your consistency pieces with Mirai, which allows you to pitch one just for additional consistency. Keisuke from BT23 allows you to 1, set memory, and 2, basically just again add to consistency, basically add to your DP threshold for Hudie traits, and then the Erica, which allows you to basically kind of pseudo hybrid into the Hudimon to allow you to kind of evo into it to gain its effect, is also very, very solid. But again, I think the overall game plan of Hudie so far is separated into two archetypes. One is the Hudie loop, which is kind of cheeky, and the second archetype, which is basically Hudie into sort of a toolbox accessibility into a very, very strong top end piece, which is Venusmon, Black or Grays, True VAs, any sort of strong top end yellow / black top end, which allows you to stall a turn. Essentially, I guess is the best way to put it, to allow you to kind of go for the aggression with the wideboarding that you can do with sort of your lower end engine. I guess if that makes sense. What do you think?
I agree. No, I mean, I don't know that much about Hudie. I have not seen like anything of it. I will say I think this might be more loop focused, because I know the Chitose is part of that loop stuff.
Yes.
And I'm noticing they only run one Venusmon, so I think that they just have some toolboxy top end to like kind of maybe make counter plays after their Shaco plays. But their 4-ofs are all kind of screaming like loop the bodies out. I don't really exactly know how the combo works, but I understand that it's supposed to be pretty good once you get into it, and it's not the hardest thing to get into.
Correct. And I find it interesting that they're not running the Hudie Net Cafe, which I think, to your point, right, speaks more towards the like less of the loop, or less of the toolboxy portion and more so the loop. The Net Cafe lets you play out a bunch of tamers, which, if you notice with a bunch of these tamers, right, their on play lets you basically spew out play cost 5 or lower, either Digimon or tamers, which allows you to kind of go into this archetype of like play out a bunch of bodies, have this big wideboard setup where if you're not able to answer it, you can go for game or go for lethal next turn. It's not as annoying as like the Genku sort of archetype where you have a bunch of immune bodies, but Hudie in a sense basically wants you to set up a board where if you don't answer it the next turn, you're kind of cooked. And I think that's why Venus sort of slots in as a very good top end, where if you can get into Venus, slot in a Venus where they say, look, everything gets check -1, everything doesn't get one digivolving effects. You basically shut them down for a turn, and then if they don't answer you that turn, you're cooked.
Yeah.
That's basically where you're at.
That makes sense. Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. I'm interested to see how it plays. I'm curious to play against it and practice for it, for all the sort of regionals coming up and everything. So something definitely gonna have to learn to play against and look into more. Yeah, that seems pretty sick. Seems pretty cool. Let's jump on to the next list. Next up, we got Royal Base. Buzz, the bees are back, baby. This list was run over by Switch at a BT23 release event. Got first place over there. Looks like they've just kind of played a bit of a normal tournament with it. Royal Base didn't really get like, I mean, they have a new line, right? You have the new Funbimon from BT23, who's a proper searcher, which the deck desperately needed a searcher, so that's very nice to have. And then also still gives a security effect, of course. We have a new Waspmon from 23 as well that helps you play out Tamers, which was also very much needed. We have a new Cannon Beamon, who can basically better utilize the security to help kind of give you some protections. And then we have the brand new Tiger Vespamon Ace, who's honestly a pretty good ace card. He's not bad. So on play on Evo, by placing one Royal Base or Zaxxon Trade Digimon card from your hand or trash face up as the bottom security card, you then return one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon to the hand. And so keep in mind too, all of your, or majority of your, actually no, I think it is pretty much, well, majority of your Royal Base pieces are going to be giving you a DP boost on top of your DP boosting inherits. So you can typically hit around 16k pretty solid on average, which can cover a lot of ground. And the fact that you can place a card from hand or trash as your bottom security card, it kind of pseudo recovers you one, right? And then on top of that too, you know, after you do all that and then you bounce something back to the hand, All turns whenever he suspends, by flipping your top face card face down, one of your Digimon unsuspends. So he has a pseudo unsuspend in there as well, which can be really, really good. And again, another like security interaction for them to utilize it and stuff, which is good. One of the biggest things with like Royal Base was that a lot of times you would end up you'd try and set up your security and you'd end up either burning yourself or you had no way to recover security. And this new Tiger Vespa Ace gives us a proper way to actually recover that security. In addition to still allowing us to pump out further aggression. We also have the new Tamer in Fae, who is Zaxxon, of course. And then if you have a Digimon with Royal Base or CS trait, you gain a memory, which is really nice. And all turns when cards are placed face up in your security stack, if you have the Zaxxon or Royal Base, if any of them have the Zaxxon or Royal Base trait, by suspending this Tamer, you gain a memory. Then if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, you draw one, which I really like that they've been doing this like 7 or fewer cards thing to try and help like keep the game from getting too out of control with people's hand sizes.
Build really up nice... your hand size for Mirage in the new starter deck.
I think that's been a pretty good change. And then of course gaining a memory just helps you be more efficient with your plays.
Which is what Royal Base needed. I mean, it just was just too fair, I guess is the best way to
absolutely.
Put it, right?
Yeah, Arby's favorite phrase that we have picked up is the deck played the game way too fairly, and now it's starting to get some pieces to make a bit more sense. I would have liked if the Tiger Vespa Ace bottom decked it instead of bouncing it back to hand. I think bouncing back to hand typically right now is kind of bad, more often than not, because so many cards are just so powerful in hand now. Like giving it back to them, unless you actually like put yourself in a game-winning position, sometimes that card just comes right back out and just whoops you. The last thing to talk about here probably is the promo Royal Base card, which is pretty solid, where it has the security effect of when any of your Digimon would leave would Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Royal Base trait, you can reduce the cost by 1, which is once per turn. That's really nice. And then as a main effect, you just add your top security card to the hand and you place it as your bottom security card. So, it going to bottom security means that you're going to constantly get that reduction, which stacks pretty well because you have other means of cost reduction and memory gain in the deck. So it just helps you speed up your game plan. And then, of course, if it's checked in security, you'll be able to play at a level 5 or lower Digimon card with Royal Base trait from your hand without paying the cost, which can be pretty good because it's going to be your last security, typically, right? If it's face up, and that'll still activate that effect. If it gets hit regardless in security, it's really nice. But if it's like your last card, you play at a level 5, possibly get some removal or something like that, and then, you threaten that ace play from Tiger Vespa off the level 5 that you just freshly played off of the option. So you have some really good plays now. There's some good potential for this deck. We've completely taken out Winter, which is interesting, but I think it makes sense because Faye is just good, and then you have your trainings and your protoforms. So congrats to you, Switch, for winning with this. I'm hoping we see some more stuff come out of Royal Base. I think the bees deserve something. I want more green decks, like in the meta. Doing
green
stuff.
In general, definitely.
Green
deserves a little
and then
bit
blue.
Of love.
I know this is gonna sound crazy coming from me, Ben. Low key, I miss blue being around.
God bless.
I know you do. I actually miss blue being around because I just want us to have an even balance of colors that are all participating at the top of the meta.
Man.
Yeah.
Sort of.
No, really. No. I mean, I know it's definitely weighed on you. I know it's weighed on you, brother. Believe me, I know that feeling. For the longest time, black was terrible, and now black's like getting us like a bunch of crazy cards, and they're actually starting to do something sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and jump into our next list here.
Next list is a Mastemon list piloted by Tengu over in JP. Got first place at a BT23 release event. So congratulations to you. This is a little bit of a what's the best way to put it? I think it's sort of like a precursor to what Maste wants to do moving forward. We don't really see a lot of the new Maste pieces, right? We see a lot of the old support. So this is, I think, a good skeleton. Like for those of you who are looking at a Maste list, looking at the new support pieces, I think this is a good core. You've got your starter Gatomon, obviously, which on play lets you search top 3, I believe, right?
Yep, top 3.
Pick up a purple and a yellow. So more often than not, you're picking up 2 pieces. Here they're choosing to use the Adventure Gatomon, which I think is pretty solid, but giving it's a security Digimon. If it gets hit out of security, you get to play it. On play, you get to minus security 1 on a Digimon, which is always very, very strong here.
2 Digimon.
two Digimon, which is also very solid, right? In today's meta, particularly in an OTK meta. But I think a lot of decks nowadays have run into the like 4 of the BT15 Gatomon, which again, if you pitch it out of security, which with the new Mastemon is very much so relevant, you get to play it out of security, which not only do you play it out, you gain a memory sometimes as well, which is very, very solid. And you run your Enjamon, Lady Devimon pieces, which again, pretty straightforward. The Mastemon Ace is typically replaced by the new Mastemon. I think most decks are running at least 2, maybe 3 at most of the new Secret Mastemon from BT23, which one finally gives Mastemon the partition that it's like just sorely deserved. Like it's so needed. It like we had Pale Dramon get partition, yet Mastemon did not get partition. We finally get partition in Mastemon here. Being able to play out your Digimon, I think, is huge. When Digivolving, being able to play out stuff, which is typical Mastemon shenanigans, you get to play out a level 5 or lower yellow or purple Digimon, which is, again, solid. And then all turns, once per turn, when your security stack is removed from, you may place one Digimon at the bottom as, or one Digimon card as the bottom Digievolution card of that respective player's security stack, which acts as like a built-in chaos degradation, right?
Yeah.
We've seen it with the Maste Ace. We see it here now. You don't have the Ace tax, which I think is very, very nice for Mastemon. And I think it also flows very well with CS in general. Like it's a very it's a nice duality to it, which is usually we don't see that very much with Bandai cards here. So again, very, very solid. I like it. I think Maste is gonna be a solid player in the upcoming meta. I wouldn't necessarily call it tier 1, but the new Mastemon definitely bumps up a tier. New Lady Devi, the new Angelomon also definitely bump it up a tier 2. So I think it's a very, very solid deck. Gonna get a lot of support, like I think just overall with the new pieces. So I think overall strong deck. Gonna be seeing it. Definitely look out for it. We'll definitely see some builds moving forward as people start to cook with it. I'm definitely going to be building and testing with it to see how it does. So be on the lookout for a deck profile for it. And I'm excited for it. Definitely excited for it. So we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, no, I'm fully expecting to see a lot of people cook like crazy with the new Mastemon in both CS, Hudie, regular man.
Well, I mean, we've seen... Yeah, go ahead.
And I think that you're absolutely correct. I think that this list, it looks like, because I see the new Lady Devi in here, but I don't see any other new pieces. So unless this was just like by choice, by design, it might have just been a situation where because it was a BT23 release event where they just were missing some other pieces to really put the list together, and they kind of just did what they could with what they had. But it definitely has it hits a lot of these are the best notes for Maste type situation, type deal.
And like the last thing I'll say about Maste, right, is that you have so many different avenues of playing with it, and we saw it with the new ban list, right? We saw the meta in general take a turn or two slower, and I think that allowed it with the new promo Maste to really kind of shine.
Yeah, it gives it
and I think we'll definitely see a lot more people cook with it, and I think there's a spot in the meta for it. Yes, there's some. You got to see things align perfectly to kind of let it shine, but I think it's still a very strong 1.5 deck, if you're gonna call it that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we've gotten enough decent pieces to help kind of play that mid-range game as well. Like the new Lady Devi being a blocker that can also pop a level 4 or lower is massive. It's actually huge. For sure.
And then the Angelomon having another alliance piece too gives it that extra aggression, which is huge.
Maste has slowly accrued more explosiveness while also accruing more mid-range options to actually play the game at their lower levels. Because before Maste was okay, you could maybe stall a little bit, but you essentially were not playing the game until you were at Mastemon.
Correct. And even then, you're I got into Mastemon.
Now what?
Now. Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of decks, and that's definitely was Bandai's design philosophy for, I feel like, a lot of decks, except for the ones that were actually the top tier decks from BT8 through BT12. And then I think like we had like touches on it where it would like sort of flash back to it, but the decks that got access to it were not very good. It was always the decks that would basically had pieces that kind of helped them high roll faster into their powerful top end. And I feel like now we're starting to slowly kind of roll back the clock a little bit, where we're starting to see a lot of decks that like to play that mid-range game or see play at the level 4, at the level 5 level with removal effects or floodgate effects or control effects, more so, right? Like, you know, it's not just like, all right, here's your level 3 floodgates and here's your level 6 that's going to win you the game. You know, we're starting to see some more variance there with what decks can do, and I think that's healthier for the game. I think it's also more interesting too, because it means like you have more value in other cards that just aren't the essence for top end stuff.
Mastermind players rise up! Woohoo!
Yeah. I would say the biggest example of what I'm talking about would be like Adventure and DM. Those are two decks that both are great examples of what I'm trying to
for sure
convey. But anyways, yeah, no. Hopefully Maste comes back. I would like to see Maste back in the meta. I just want give me a wide meta, man. Just give me a meta with a lot of different decks where you can't prep for everything. I want to be able to just like go into a regional and get clapped by something that I just never expected to see.
All right. Bring in Rookie Rush to the next regional. Got it.
Yes, sir.
Assignment
Yes, sir. Bring back the old BT7 Cherubi with the
Church of Cherubi?
Yeah, Church of Cherubi with the Bushiagu Rush strategies, right? That was the whole idea.
Yeah. Well, be careful what you wish for. This is a conversation for another day, but Mitama might be making a comeback with Hudie.
Okay, cool.
Just saying.
Good.
Just saying.
Put some yellow back in the meta. We got too much.
No, don't do it.
There's too much aggression.
It's actually pretty bad.
Okay, well,
but
never mind.
We'll get there.
Anyways.
Next Star Trek. Tune in next week. We'll see you there.
Digivolve's a thing. That still works, right? That still works. Let's give that more value, shall we? Anyways, last deck, Examon. This was run over by Machan. Got first place at a Tamer battle at Bimat Sanjo. It's an Examon list, pretty much. I'm not going to linger too much. It's a lot of like the older typical pieces and ratios that we've seen leading up to, you know, X's current iteration. The biggest thing for Exa is their newest piece they have gotten in the brand new SR Examon from BT23. And this guy is a monster of a card. He is a beast.
Beast different art too.
Yes. So Exa finally getting, you know, he's getting some good love. Some good loving with this card. Because you finally have a non-ace Examon that you can use as a main boss monster that's actually good for the current meta of the card game. So 15 KDP, 15 play cost, can evo for 5 over a red, green, or blue, level 6. Can digivolve over a CS trait card for a cost of 5 as well, or a level 6 CS trait card for a cost of 5. Can DNA from a green level 6 and a blue level 6. Keep in mind, this is any green or blue. It doesn't have to be Examon stuff. So if there's any other decks that are out there, Imperial, that can see green and blue level 6s pretty consistently, pretty quickly, you can do some funny stuff with this. He has Piercing, Sec +1, and Partition, a level green level 5 and a blue level 5, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal. We'd love to see it. That's really, really good. Exa finally getting like proper partition is good. Actually Exa never had partition, so Exa just having partition is really good. On top of all the other effects that it gets in a stack. Yeah. So this was definitely needed. It was definitely needed for the deck for a long time. On play and on Evo, suspend 5 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers.
5. Not just 1. 5.
Yep. But it's also nice that it's not all as well. They took it because they actually put a number on there instead of just being like suspend all of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers, because that would have been insane. None of your opponents, but the next part is none of your opponent's Digimon can unsuspend in the next unsuspend phase, and then this Digimon may attack. So, you know, when you Digivolve into him, if you typically are going to, like, you know, DNA, Evo into him, whatever, yada, yada, in this version of the deck, right, in his traditional build, you'll be able to suspend 5 bodies, Digimon or Tamers, keep them from unsuspending during your opponent's unsuspend phase, and then you can instantly swing with Piercing and Sec +1 and, like, just do 2 checks right away. Which is pretty insane. Pretty crazy. And that's just like that's like the basic. That's just the basic things you can do with this.
Here's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, your turn once per turn when your opponent's security stack is removed from, right? So with that Piercing, trash one of their option cards in the battle area. So Examon is getting option card removal, which is an effect that is extremely rare. We've only really, I think we've only seen it in Lucimon prior to this, right? Lucy and
correct.
There might have been something else.
Just Lucy. I think just
I guess
Lucy.
Justy can remove its own options. I don't remember if it can remove other
Let's
options.
face it. Did anybody really do anything with Justy?
It's Justy, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you delete one of their suspended Digimon or tamers. So not only are you going to suspend 5 bodies, you're going to lock down the board for anything that's suspended in addition to those things you just suspended. You're going to be able to swing, pierce through something, do 2 checks, pop an option card, so you immediately start hindering your opponent's clapback potential if they have any trainings or boosts out there, or scrambles, right? If there's a scramble out there, scramble's gone. They can't play the body back out that you just suspended and killed. And then you will also then just delete a Digimon or tamer after you've checked security. After that, a first initial security check.
+1.
Yep. And then you do the second check. So it's just insane. It's an insane card. It reads wildly. You know, he's an expensive guy, but like Royal Knights can get him played out pretty cheap, pretty quick.
I think that's the thing with this set too in general, right? Is that you have a lot of cards that can be kind of spliced into it, where it's not just like, oh well, this is purely a like Royal Knights support card or a Mastemon support card or an Examon support card. Like Exa can easily be spliced into
a lot of things,
like base CS.
Yes.
Or base Galaxy, right? Where like you go into alpha, you do your damage, right? You do your shenanigans. If you have like multiple Amis on board, you can just boom, go into an Exa and just lock them down. You don't need a room mode. You just bye-bye, right? Same thing with Galaxy, right? You can go into a Galaxy with Ko and Sayo, do your Diana shenanigans, then go into Exa straight away. Have no issues with it. Like you mentioned, Imperial can go ahead and use it. Like Exa is very much splashable. Mastemon, even in and of itself, is also like CS splashable. You can use Mastemon in CS very, very efficiently.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that these cards can be spliced in not just in their own like respective decks, but like generically as well to a degree.
Agreed. Fully agree. And then one last thing I'll touch on with the Examon stuff. We've talked about it for a hot second now, but because this video is definitely going to be a bit of a longer deck check, but it's been a while since we've yapped together on a video, so it's nice. Unleash the Dragon Gene finally has value. This card finally actually is good to do what it should have been doing the entire freaking time, dude. So for those of you who don't know, this option card came out in BT20 and was basically useless. It was useless. Yeah, so it's a 2-cost option, which is pretty nice. And then you play a Digimon card with Dracomon or Examon and text from your hand with the play cost reduced by 3, and then you place a card in the battle. So typically you would use this to play Dracomon. Think of it like using Miraculous to play like Ago or Gabu, right? For 1 cost cheaper.
Right.
All turns, when any of your Digimon, keep in mind though, you have to have a red source. It doesn't have any means of cheating the color. You have to have a red source, which is really annoying, but whatever. All turns, when any of your Digimon with Dracomon or Examon in their texts would leave the battle area other than in battle, delay, 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into Examon in the hand. This option was dog because you had to have both Digimon on the board when you were using its effect. So if you only had one guy on the board and he was removed, it sucked. It was terrible. Now because of partition existing on this Exa, when you spit out both bodies, this card actually has value to keep both those bodies safe after they hit the board from partition. Now you won't be able to use them all in the same instance, I believe. Like, so you can't like partition and then instantly use Unleash the Dragon Gene to like do anything with those, because those bodies obviously aren't leaving the play, like the area. They're fine or whatever. Or actually, wait, no, because I guess you would see Examon leaving play. You'd partition, spit out the bodies, and then you could resolve this, and it would just look for the targets after that. You might be able to use this the second partition triggers, actually, because partition is interruptive. That's a judge question for Jarrell, or if somebody in the comment section knows down below. But anyways, moving on. If you can't do that, it's crazy. Even if you can't, this card just giving those bodies protection after the fact is just massive. It's huge. So to let you just jump right back into another Examon is really, really good.
Right.
Because all of your Groundramon and Wingdramon can be treated as level 6s for the DNA of Exa. So you don't have to go up into Slayer Draw and Breakdraw. They're just options.
That was another thing too, is that like both Maste and Exa had level 5s that had on plays, or level 6s that had on plays, for example, but you never really got to utilize that because they didn't have a true way to partition them out. Now you have that.
Yes. Yeah.
Without an ace cost or an ace tax.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It is massive. So it's nice to finally have that. It's very, very good. You know, so this card actually sees some proper value now. And its inherited security effect has always been pretty. So nice to see that card finally see some value. I think Exa actually has a place in the meta now, like proper. I think it can really do things because Exa right now, like, it can climb into their top end pretty efficiently, but the problem is like Digivolve is so strong against them, and Exa wasn't nearly as explosive enough to warrant what they were doing. That like it just made it really hard to like go anywhere, right? Because you would like you'd go into X-Ace and then you get Digivolve and you lose 5 memory and then you lose the game, basically. Right. But now with this new Exa just does so much work and can just lock your opponent out of the game for you to just win on the following turn. Potentially, it's insane. So, anyways, we're at 30 minutes, so I'm gonna stop there.
Never.
But,
we keep on yapping.
That's true. That's true. We keep on yapping in the next videos. That's gonna be it for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for checking out. Hopefully, this has been a little bit informative for all y'all out there. It's been nice to get back on the mic with my brother Bear and hit this up. Expect more of us. We're back. We're good. We here. We chilling.
We're here.
God bless.
We will definitely have more EX10 or no.
Yeah, we got match play. We will have more EX10 and BT23
as we also prep for store regionals and stuff like that moving forward. So we're definitely going to be getting more stuff out there for you guys. We're going to be play testing. We're going to try to hammer stuff out. So we'll definitely get that content out for you guys for sure.
Absolutely. So look forward to it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm very tired. And Ben, say the line.
We'll catch ya on that flippy flip. Bye-bye.